we are living in an extremely crowded society, right? One day ChatGPT pops up, everybody talks about ChatGPT. One day cryptocurrency, everybody start buying those machines. I know some of my friends in their house, they have this Bitcoin mining machines, like one of them. Like one of them, seriously? People have like a farm of like Bitcoin mining machines, and they were not making enough, right? So imagine like one machine that you bought for a few $100s, how much you're gonna make. So one day it was NFT, one day it was something else, right? One day it's real estate. So the problem is, if you know a little bit of everything, you don't know anything. That's the problem with society today. So I remember the story of Steve Jobs. Initially, he got fired from his own company. He founded from Apple. And then Apple had many CEOs and they were not doing well. They were almost going bankrupt. So they had to acquire Next, which is Steve Jobs' next company, to bring Steve Jobs back to Apple. Now, Apple is losing money, burning cash, and from very successful company to become one of the most like fiasco in the startup industry. So when Steve Jobs comes back, and what he did is this, the first thing he did, imagine what? There were so many different product line. There were so many different products that they were developing. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to shut down everything. I'm going to focus on one thing, which is Macintosh, right? And because he was able to focus on one thing and blow this up, and Macintosh became a historical turning point for Apple. I remember those exciting days that he was on the stage showing Macintosh to people. It was like beautiful memory. And from that momentum, I think Apple became one of the most successful company in the world. I think in that story, you can learn the power of focus. Imagine that you're the person that you're doing farming and you're doing IT and you're doing crypto, you're doing investment. I do think there are some people that are successful, but to most people, it's just waste of time. So that's one part I want you to remember. The second part is this. There are many people that are living paycheck to paycheck, right? It's like a toxic cycle. Like my life in 2011 is, I was delivering package. I had to work 80 hours a week just to cover my expenses. When I'm living paycheck to paycheck, there's nothing else that I could think of other than paying my rent on time. So when you're there's something called human necessity pyramid, okay? On the bottom is food, shelter, and whatever, security, right? And or reproduction. So if these basic needs are not met, you cannot even think what is the next level. So my life was only focusing on how do I pay my rent, how do I buy milk, how do I feed my family. For that person, you don't think about investment. You don't think about better life or reinvesting in your education to become a better person because you don't have space in your mind. You work so hard, you pay your rent, and then you out of all your money and you repeat the cycle again. That is very toxic cycle. Anyone in this toxic cycle, the first thing you want to do is get out of the cycle. Now what you do, if your hourly rate is $15, $20 an hour, in this economy, you're living paycheck to paycheck. It's very difficult, right? At least you have to make six figure. So what do you do now? In the first space, you're in the first stage in your life, if you're in that stage, you're working long hours, little income. It means that you have no time to invest. It's not about money. You have no time to invest for the better future. So what is the stage number one? Stage number one is get out of this hamster wheel. Get out of this toxic cycle. So you gain a skill set like coding, programming, IT, whatever. You get into an IT job. Now all of a sudden, used to be you have to work 40 or used to be you have to work 60 to 80 hours a week, okay? Just to cover your expenses. Now because IT jobs, they're doubling or tripling your income, what happens now? You're working less than 40 hours, you're working less time, making 3 times more money. What does that mean? Now all of a sudden that you have more time and more money. When you have more time and more money, you can go to Cancun, you can go to vacation, but that time I recommend people to invest their more time and their more money to improve themselves. I've seen lots of people, they talk about starting a business, gaining more, making more income, all these things. I think people have no knowledge about business, people no knowledge about entrepreneurship. They're gonna lose the money that they have because, like, imagine how much money was lost in the crypto scam. because you didn't know that's as a Ponzi scheme. You didn't know that's a pump and dump. So lots of people put their hard-earned cash in crypto and NFT. Most people lost their money because you didn't have knowledge. If you knew how economy works, if you knew that how pump and dump scheme works, right? If you had that knowledge, you would find a better way to invest your time. So what is missing from there? Why you lost the money that you have? Because you didn't have knowledge, you didn't have experience. So before even started making a business or other things, you want to invest your time and money to become a better person, more knowledgeable person, that you have the competency and the experience to manage your fund, to make sure that you can make more money. When you're out of that first stage of, okay, I have this work so hard 80 hours a week just to pay my rent, to repeat the cycle. Now you're in the second cycle now. You're in the second level of the pyramid now. Now you can make more money, work less and make more money. Now you have time and the effort and the time and the resources to invest in something else. In that time, I suggest people to become competent in one thing. Whether you want to become a real estate investor, then double down on real estate and learn the crap out of real estate. Learn everything you could before you're jumping in, before you're spending a few $1 million in a property and lose them. Spend your time, learn real estate. 1 year, 2 year accumulation of knowledge, it's going to give you competency to even not lose the money that you have earned already. Because investing is risk, right? People losing their money after investing, right? Or you want to do Amazon fulfillment? Learn about that. Learn it first before you invest. Sometimes you want to try small. Okay, I don't know what to do. I've saved $100,000. I know people lose their money. I know people lost their money in the crypto scam and NFT scam. So I'm not going to get into crypto NFT. When everybody jumping into one thing, oh, you know what? I see a pattern here. I see a pattern when everybody is investing in one thing. It looks like a bubble will pop one day because the pattern is there. In NFT and crypto, there's pattern in there, right? So next time when you see and everybody is jumping into one thing, I want you to slow down because I want you to ask yourself, do I have enough competency, knowledge, experience, expertise, or network to even assess the situation? Everybody's investing here. Do I have competency to do that, right? Therefore, slow down, okay? Start small. Learn real estate and see if you want to do it. Learn stock trading if you want to see if you want to do it. After trying few small things, you will figure out what you enjoy the most. Because if you're not enjoying, if you're suffering, you cannot continue. You will find something that you do and you never get tired. It always it's inspiring and exciting and motivational when you do certain stuff. But when you do certain other stuff that you will feel like this is not for you, you're going to hate it every single minute in there. So it's not about money at sometimes. It's finding out the sweet spot that how do you find a place that you feel, area that you feel so passionate about, at the same time you can turn it to profit. So that's the spot that you can kind of experiment. But once you find a spot, you cannot jump all over the place, focus on one thing, just like Steve Jobs. He shut down all other projects, only focus on Macintosh. Maybe you can repeat the same. Maybe you're not business, but you on your personal growth and personal level, you can do that. But if you are stock trader, if you are entrepreneur, you're managing a restaurant, you have a construction business, and you have a laundromat business, and you're working in IT, and you have recruiting business, I can tell you you're not focusing, and you're doing everything, and you're doing nothing. So experiment many things and start small, try it out. But once you find that niche spot that you feel passionate about, and you have a confidence that it's going to turn to profit one day, I think you should focus on that and stop everything else. And it's not sprint, it's marathon. It takes time to achieve something. Don't try 3 months and, I didn't see result and quit. Remember, it is not sprint, it's marathon.